If you live in Wareham, you may feel like the middle child. You're loved, but not a lot of attention goes your way, and especially if the star of your family is your sibling, the Cape Cod. For a while, Marlissa Bridggett worked as a freelancer, writing for magazines and newspapers in and out of the Cape. However, even though she was following her passion, she struggled with the idea that stories of her hometown were not getting the same treatment as those from the Cape.
I never had a place to pitch my onset Wareham stories. I could occasionally kind of get them into Cape Cod magazine because we're right on the cusp. That just got me to thinking, why don't we have a regional lifestyle magazine like those other places do?
And it was out of this frustration that she decided to create a magazine of her own, featuring towns that weren't as popular.
But I really wanted something that I was passionate about, and I am really passionate about this area, and sort of as you had said at the beginning, I feel like we are overlooked a lot in this state. I think we have this hidden jewel, this coastline from Buzzards Bay to Rhode Island, and it's spectacular, and it's rich with stories, and we weren't really getting our share of the stories told.
The South Coast Almanac is a life and living magazine featuring everything from the people, food, to businesses in the South Coast region of Massachusetts.
We're a lifestyle magazine, so we're really and really we want to just promote the positive for all of these places.
Now, you're talking about there are a lot of stories to tell, and that was the inspiration behind having 4 magazines per year as we're moving into the next year. You're covering, as we talked, you're covering the underdog towns. I mean, Buzzards Bay, you talked about New Bedford, and people, when they hear New Bedford, they don't hear good things about it. Right. The connotation that goes with New Bedford is this overgrown town, poor town, crime is very high, but yet you bring us to other sides of New Bedford.
Yeah, I think New Bedford is great.
It's great, and when I opened your magazine, I said, there's no way this is New Bedford. Maybe it's Marion, maybe it's Rochester, but there's no way that this is New Bedford.
But it is, and that's kind of the point. We want you to like sort of set aside your preconceptions of places and explore them, and there's so many, that the downtown New Bedford is thriving. There's great restaurants, there's the cobblestones. I mean, it's just, it's humming with like activity and energy, and we just want to share that and spread it. So,
what do you think unites all these towns that you cover? What's some of the elements that unites us?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think folks are independent and salty, and they're not snooty. They live in a beautiful area and they're not snooty. You could go to other parts of Massachusetts who have these stunning vistas, and they might be they'll have a different character. People who are really passionate about what they're doing, passionate about their hometowns. I think that makes us stand apart, and there's a lot of history too.
Yes. Now, do you see for the short time that the magazine has been around, do you see that making a change, alerting people about these towns?
Yeah, are you like, oh no, they're all gonna come or something?
No, like they're gonna come, but they're gonna be like changing their narratives of like, okay, so maybe New Bedford is a great place to go and visit and vacation.
Yeah, I think that narrative is a fine narrative. It's not going to change who people are at all. I do hear from people saying, well, we like that because I'll say this whole South Coast is a hidden jewel, and people say, well, yeah, that's the point.
That's the point.
We don't want them coming, and I get that. Like, you don't want to become the Cape, you don't want to be so filled with traffic and tourists, but at the same time, I think it's good. I think it's good to sort of just even let one another know, hey, there's a great thing to do 2 towns over.
What started as an annual magazine 4 years ago is pushing 2 issues, summer and winter this year, and moving towards a quarterly publication starting next year.
There's a lot of reasons, but I think most of all, it's really fun to put these issues together, and there's a lot of stories that we're not being able to tell because we didn't have enough space, and so now we'll have more space.